What's up, everybody? How are you? This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my co-host, Dr. Marilyn Corder. Tonight, this is Real Talk with Dr. Corder, and this is when we discuss a lot of things. There's a lot of things has been happening since the last time the doc and I have spoke, but I mean we have spoken sidebar as cousins, of course. But the thing is, there's a lot of things that we want to talk about. Um, First and foremost, let me ask the doc, how are you doing? Happy Women's Month for you. You definitely deserving of all the flowers that you get. So
Thank you. Thank you. Can you
yes,
hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Excellent.
Excellent. All right. Thank you. I'm okay. It's a lot happening. Notice my hat. I'm in denial today.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely, absolutely. As we all are to a certain degree. I want
And
to touch on some topics. Um, First and foremost, uh, and please uh, don't ever put yourself in jeopardy in regards to. But we have a new health person, RFK. What is the census? If you can tell us, what did the doctors say? I've spoken to a couple of other doctors and they've been like, ah. So without getting yourself in any trouble, because I won't have to come down there and put foot to behind for it for you.
you
But
know, you,
go ahead, please.
let me just say this. We are now
Mhm.
in a measles crisis. We have measles here in the DMV. I had 38 calls in an hour today alone about, does my child have both their measles shots, or my child's not even of the age to get the measles shot. What do I do? Or my child has a rash. It's horrible.
Right,
We are in a crisis because the person in charge is known to poo-poo vaccines,
right,
especially the MMR, which is your measles, mumps, rubella, which is, of course, vaccine preventable, as well as it can kill you, as some children have died. And when you hear the reports, please note, when you hear the reports, you could double that and triple those numbers. So many measles are not reported. But let me tell you something that hopefully will sink in. When you have been exposed to measles, it takes 10 to 14 days before you show symptoms. So you're walking around everywhere. Nobody's looking at somebody and saying he's got measles or she's got measles. But so
mm,
that's why it mushrooms up. And now
okay,
we have someone who was at Dulles Airport, our international airport, turns out had measles. So think about the traffic, think about the people right here in the DMV.
yeah,
So what do I think? I think that we're back in the 60s when there was no vaccinations. I think that this is it's absurd. It's like I can't believe this is happening. And
yeah,
it's sad because how many children have to die or be debilitated after having the measles? And it is very contagious. You don't have to be drinking out of somebody's cup. I mean, it's respiratory, it's very contagious,
yeah,
very preventable. And here we are, not to mention the other vaccines that apparently everyone's going to, he's taking a back seat. And the sad thing, because I spoke to so many parents, and we're not sure when when the insurance companies will stop paying for it, since the person in charge is saying it's not necessary to get vaccines. So the first thing the insurance company is going to do is, like, oh, we're not going to pay, because guess what? The person in charge is saying it's not necessary. So why should we pay $300 or $400 per vaccine?
absolutely, absolutely. Also, too, in lieu of Medicare and Medicaid, you know, so that's another topic. From a clinical standpoint, what's the doctor's feelings on that? Because a lot of people are up in arms in regards to that. I've had some friends tell me, "Oh, they're not gonna get rid of it." You don't know that. Why are you talking about it? He's talking about tariffs and stuff like that. I know this is another political show. I don't want to get you on that rant, but the bottom line is it all culminates together because we're talking health and it still affects the people. They're doing a crazy number on the veterans. Veterans are in arms. They're losing their minds and stuff for this. But what's so funny? There's a part of me, the horns that says, "Listen, you voted for him. You put him there.
And we
You
told you
know,
so. And he told us what he was going to do.
yeah,
2025 is in there. Just
yeah,
read. Reading is fundamental. We saw it. We
yeah,
saw it coming. I mean, I guess they were so blindsided by, you know, the immigrations, the border, but we may as well be. immigrants by the way we're being treated.
Yeah. Well,
So I don't know.
I see they're down in DC. They're spending like 600. Is it 600,000 or 600 million or something?
Over 600,000.
A little, it's over 100,000 to get rid of the Black Lives Matter. Why?
You know, we were down there marching years ago when it first. I have my pictures. I have my memory. You know, even though our mayor said she was going to do it anyway,
Yeah.
but I think that there was pressure, and that's just me. And I think that you know, we see the bully, and
Yeah.
and and
Absolutely.
we're being bullied um, at the expense of so many lives. The veterans,
Yeah.
like you say, the Medicaid, you know, food programs, seniors,
Yeah.
Social Security.
Yeah.
You talk about homelessness. If you continue to act like this, there's going to be folks who thought they were secure in their homes and retired, maybe homeless.
Yeah. Very much so. Very much so. You know, it's so funny. This is just a whole nother topic, but I'm sure your other doctors in different arms, our cousin and stuff like that, Thelma, are probably talking to people that are really dealing with mental issues from this right now. You know, this
Oh
is
my
stressful.
goodness, yes. You know, joblessness. We seeing 1 in 5 folks here in the DMV are losing their jobs because
Mhm.
this is government, DC Gov, the feds. You know, we got relatives. You know, I won't mention their names that are in DC Gov,
Yes,
um, and they, you know, don't know if they're gonna have a job, and you
yes,
know, and these are high power. These folks went, they got their career, um, you know, and thought everything was fine because their work is very essential, very
yes,
important,
yes,
life saving, making the great decisions for not just here in the United States but globally. It's like
yes.
poof, you get an email and you're gone.
Yeah. I was speaking to one of our cousins in regards to that. And, you know, we have a bunch of cousins, like you said earlier, that worked in the government. Our parents, a lot of our family grew up in the government. You know, our parents are from eras and our family that
Right,
is passed down to get a city job. That way you can
right.
work and retire. Hey, Stefania, I see you, that you could retire and do these kind of things. And, you know, right now, I'm just sure that the stress put upon people, that not even just our family members because it's personal to us, but just looking at people outside the box, worrying about, can you pay your bills now? Will you be able to pay your bills? Will I have a job? Chasing emails, responding to emails. It is a whole nother thing. And you know, when we talk sidebar, you know, we have another person that used to work for Tesla, and what's implemented what
Yeah,
he implemented in Tesla is what he's doing right now. The same thing
I
to the
know.
government.
I
So
know.
a lot of people are just up in arms with what's happening. Um, I was at the doctor's office just for a regular checkup, which was great. Shout out to everybody that's chiming in. I see you. If you have any questions for the doctor in regards to health or anything, please just jot them in. I just want to keep conversing with her. Um,
You were at the doctor's and you said just for a
yes, at the
checkup.
doctor's office, and he was talking about just the cold with the RSV, flu, pneumonia, um, or just a common cold. A lot of things are still out here that's prevalent, and we can't forget COVID.
And COVID's still around.
Yes, so please talk about what's out here. That's what are you experiencing when people are coming to see you at the office? Because I know germs are just still prevalent out here to this day, and like I said, we have a new administration that is kind of putting the blind's eye to vaccines. And I'm not telling anybody to take vaccines. You know, there's so much hoopla over vaccines. Should you take it? Get jabbed? Not get jabbed? You know, you do. Everybody out there, you do what you got to do. I'm gonna do what I got to do for myself. I'm not gonna, and my wife, and whatever the case may be, because people have underlying conditions. I've had arguments and discussions with people in regards to, you may not get jabbed. That's all right. You want to go a holistic route. I'm not knocking that. I wish I could. Certain people out here, and maybe you can elaborate on this. Certain people out here still need that natural Western civilization medicine. And I'll yield back to you guys.
Well, that's a lot. You've asked me a whole lot.
No,
Okay.
yeah,
This
I
is
was
what I
just
think.
I was
No,
venting,
no.
ranting, and asking the question at the end.
So you asked me, what am I seeing in the office? Let me start
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
well, I'm seeing a lot of frustrated parents. Um,
Mhm.
Several of them, it's interesting, are leaving the city when they have lost their job. Maybe it's two parent household, two working parent, and one lost a job. So they're packing up. One family's going to Oregon where the grandparents are.
Mhm.
And they just say we're gonna rent a house or not rent a house. Um, it's it's a sad day in the office. Now,
Mhm.
in addition to that, we're seeing peaks of sickness. We're seeing peaks of mainly influenza A, flu, and it's relentless. And it's almost like what RSV was last year. And because it's prolonged, today we had 70-degree weather. The other day it was 20-degree weather. I think that the virus, the flu virus, has just become almost resistant. And as you're getting the flu, you got to be mindful of what it's doing to your body. It's causing a total inflammation. That's why people will say, my head hurts, my eyes hurt, my face hurts, my legs hurt, my feet, everything is hurting. It's because that virus is taking a strong hold on your body, and you have a fever, and you're coughing, and you're dehydrated. So some people are having to become so sick or have had it so bad that they have had to be hospitalized. I had one of my patients tell me, what's today? Today is Monday. She told me on Friday, no, Thursday, that she has a dear friend who works in the school system. I'm not going to tell you what county, but it's here in the DMV.
Okay.
And they said that 3 children had died from the flu. And I said, no, I haven't heard that. Well, within 24 hours, I heard that. And that's
Mm.
even more. So we can't take it lightly.
I lost you. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. We're in here with Dr. Marilyn Corder, and we're talking health issues. If you have any questions for the doctor, please write in and ask your questions. I mean, I know we all, sometimes it may just be somebody that you know that you may have a medical question for. It may not have to always be your personal, but if it is personal, you can write in. I wish you could do it, for those that don't want to divulge, what's going on. It could be anonymous. I wish it could be, unless you text me. If you text me, then I'll watch in. I'll read your questions and comments. So I have to also give my condolences to the families of Soki Nakeem Murphy and a former 2-8 member, Clinton Blake, passed away at very young ages. Soki was a long-time martial arts member, and we met doing a movie together, and we developed a good relationship. And we used to converse all the time via social media, and just a nice man. And then Clinton Blake and I, we called him Junior. He, the last time him and I text was Friday night, and supposedly he passed away, I guess Saturday or something like that, and younger than me. So I think Soki was a little older than me, and Blake was a little younger than me. So I don't know what has transpired. If I did know, I would ask the doctor her professional experience. What did she think was the demise of these gentlemen? But I just want to give a shout out to their families. My condolences. To lose people, it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. So shout out to the families of these gentlemen. Um, I'm waiting for the doctor to come back. Doc, where are you? I'm gonna have to remove you first and then come back, Doc. Okay, let me see if I can add it now. Doc, are you there? Um, let's see. I think she's rebooting. She's outside enjoying this air. It was a beautiful day today, so we might have to ask her about stuff like that in regards to the weather and things of that magnitude. Did we freeze? Let me see. Have I frozen? Let's see. You still have me. I think I still have you. So until the doc comes back, I'm going to try to come on Wednesday. I think I have something else to do in regards to a memorial for a friend of ours that's passed away, that's transitioned. And wow, let me see. Have I frozen? If anybody can see me or hear me, please send me a thumb or something of that magnitude. Let's see. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
No, it's all right. I can hear you, but we can't see you yet. But
You can't see me? Okay.
no, it's all right. But at least we can hear you half the battle. But I would love to see you. Let me. Yeah, I'm frozen. I think we're back now.
Okay.
Let me
Okay.
see. My man Terrence said frozen. Let me see.
Am I frozen?
I can hear you.
Oh,
I don't know. That's a good
okay.
question. Let me
Okay.
see. Can you see the screen at all?
I see Terrence's thing. How does the doctor view the proposal? Oh, Medicaid cuts. And what should Medicaid recipients do to protect their health if coverage is scaled back? I just read what Terrence asked me, and it's very pertinent. You know, millions of children and adults, but as a pediatrician, many children are on Medicaid,
Mhm.
and they're talking and have stopped it. We one time had a stoppage for 24 hours. I guess that was Trump's way of saying, I can show you what I can do. And
Yes.
it was horrible. And what should happen, people who have Medicaid, they need to be aware of what may come down the pipe and get as many, check in to as many I would say holistic, but also update with your doctor, get your physicals. This is not the time to not do it, because that physical yesterday may have to last you for a while, and at least understand and know what you're doing. And I'm going to say this, you know, it shouldn't take this to make us more woke in terms of our health, in terms of our bodies. I just went to a funeral on Friday, and it was a 35-year-old woman, mother of three, single mother, who died of kidney disease. She was packing into Advil and the Motrin, and she had three children. Each child, each birth, you know, decreased her health. And women died during pregnancy and birthing, and she had three babies, and each pregnancy the doctor said, it's really aggravating your heart, it's really aggravating your kidneys. We as a people need to know that we can begin to take charge of our bodies and our health. Don't rely on the bag of prescriptions. Understand what's going on. Understand when your sugar's high. When all of a sudden you can't see, your vision is disturbed and you're feeling sluggish. Begin to eat. I have over the last 2 to 3 years have eaten more at home and cooking real food than I have in years. Of course, we grew up with our parents cooking hot meals
Absolutely.
every day, but we
Absolutely.
have to come away from all of this fast food, because all it's doing is causing aggravation, inflammation of our bodies, of our gut. And once it's in our gut, it's everywhere. So
Yes.
I like Terrence made a good point. So I'm not sure what's going to be, how much cut and what's happening, but this is the time to call the grandparents, the godmothers, etc., and
Mhm.
say, what did you want to do years ago, and and
Yeah.
and even down to the natural things, the teas, and the greens, the pot liquor. Those things can help you and begin to
Mhm.
reverse the illnesses that's coming down the pipe. I do naturopathic things. Of course, I've told you guys, even for ADHD, I have folks on CBD drops, migraines, headaches. Uh,
Uh-oh. We want you back. We don't want to lose her. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster. This is Real Talk with Dr. Marilyn Corder. This is her show tonight. We're talking, Terrence just asked her an important question. He said, this isn't a medical question, but how does the doc view the proposals cut to Medicaid, and what should Medicaid recipients do to protect their health and if coverage is scaled back? That is a very excellent question. And the doc was in rare form discussing it and talking about things like that. These are the things that we have to definitely understand, not even just to get into the political aspect, but everything now seems to be about politics when we talk about how it affects us. Like, I think I want to do a show in regards to asking veterans how they feel about what's going on. Mark, I'll definitely talk to you sidebar and any veterans out there that are listening. You I don't know if you finished with what the question was. I can put it back up, Doc, if you want to, but
Okay.
could you? Yeah, this
But
is what.
and I'm sorry, this I guess is I mean my calls are coming in, like I said, for measles and it's dropping some of my conversation here. But all I can say is, you know, it's a sad day, and if people can get on whatever insurance plans they can for the grandparent, the parents, the mother, the father, the sibling, as much as they can get coverage, the better.
Right. I have another question for you, Doc. Shout out to my man Darren Joseph. He says, "Good evening, Doc. I'm hearing that COVID is making a comeback. Is this true?"
It's true. It's not as aggressive, but it's true. And I'm not going to say go get a COVID shot. I'm just going to say it's a virus. Pay attention to the symptoms. There are a lot of programs that you can get a COVID test sent to your home. I know we're doing it here in DC. Each family who's on Medicaid here in DC, we're sending them 4 COVID tests. And when we call them, people are like, I don't want that. And then I'm like, no, 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 pay attention. We're not talking the vaccine. We're talking to make sure you know if you have COVID, and you need to know. So yes, it is coming back.
Let me ask you a question. There was a big thing when RK was going in front of the hearing board, and it was a big hoopla in regards to when he was talking about Black people taking shots and not taking shots. What's your whole medical, and you can tell me your personal, whatever. If you can't tell me your personal, tell me your medical feelings on
It's
this.
not, that's nonsense, both personal and as a physician of 45 years, that's nonsense.
Okay.
Okay. I'm trying to stay politically correct. I'm
Yes.
trying to stay, I have other conversations often if I'm not in public like so. But
Yes,
that's
absolutely. And
nonsense.
and that's why I want you to, because I don't have to come down there and grab nobody for you. But you know what I'm saying? But especially in a woman in your position and how powerful you are in the medical field, I don't never want you to do something that would jeopardize it. I would love whenever you retire, that way you can speak your truth. It's more
So,
more than your truth.
right. But let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
I know you've heard of Henrietta Lacks.
Okay. Yes,
Henrietta Lacks.
absolutely. Yes.
Okay. I
Yes.
know. So understand this. Sometimes the longevity and the resistance to infections, we'll hear stories that will tell us, you know, lower social economics, and we have, but when we get cancer, we die faster. But by the time we get cancer or go to the doctors, it's so far gone. But if
Right.
you equalize everything, perhaps we are the more powerful and the most well. But that doesn't mean we get different vaccinations.
Yes.
That
Yes.
doesn't mean just like with sickle cell. We know where sickle cell came from. The cells became sickled from out of Africa for the population so they wouldn't die of malaria. So it was a protective evolution, and that the cells protected us. So there
Mhm.
are times when, depending upon, and we all from the motherland, okay?
Yes,
Just don't
absolutely.
don't 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 get it
Don't get
twisted.
it twisted, right?
Don't
Don't
get
get it
it
twisted,
twisted,
cuz. Yeah.
okay? And so you want to make sure that we understand some of our survival DNA, that we're tougher, and that because of what we've been through the struggle. But the vaccinations from birth to 11 years old, 16 years old, and then some should still be equal. You should not. What he was suggesting, they don't. The people of color don't need as many vaccinations. Well, what does that mean? Just let
Yeah.
us get sick?
Yeah. Real talk.
You know,
Real talk.
and my
Real talk.
and my dear friend Angela Alsabrook, she took him to task, and she said, "Well, which one should I have gotten?" And he was
Yes.
speechless, or not
Yes.
have gotten.
Very much so. So funny. I will definitely be reaching out to you because I would love to pick your brain offline about this whole thing. I mean, I really we always talk cousin to cousin, but this is podcast to podcast right now.
Right,
And I really
right.
want to talk about this. And first, I gotta give a shout out to my man Dwayne Davis and my man Biff. Condolences, man. I've been meaning to reach out to you. I've been looking for your number, in regards to the passing of your lovely wife. My
Oh,
prayers are definitely with you. He has a question, and I want to put it in right now to the group. So I appreciate you
what
still
is the
being
best
with us
course
right
of
now, brother.
dealing?
Go ahead.
Wow. Okay. So, it's interesting with diabetes. We're talking about probably diabetes type 2, because diabetes type 1, you as a child and you're on insulin right away. Diabetes type 2, that we see lots of people in their 40s and 50s get, and immediately we put them on metformin. And what metformin ends up doing, it blocks your absorption of the carbs that aggravates your status of your insulin or your glucose. So
Yeah.
if you can follow, your pancreas after a while gets a little old and aged and cannot put out enough insulin, therefore, which is your natural hormone that breaks down glucose, not just sweets but
Mhm.
carbohydrates as well. So what metformin does, it basically begins to block the absorption of it, so that it your body doesn't work as hard. Now, I would say this: if you're on metformin, you should follow that, but begin to do a change in your lifestyle. It is difficult, but think about this. If you don't do it, then eventually you'll be on insulin and other medicines, glucophage, etc. And then you'll know that after a while you'll get what we call neuropathy, where your hands and your feet feel a little different and tingling, which means your circulation on the distal meaning far away from your heart, distal like your toes, etc., don't get enough circulation, and then you may have a sore there and you don't even realize the sore, and that's where we talk about amputation.
Mutation. Yeah.
So and you don't want to lose your sight, and you don't want to lose your kidneys, and you don't
Hmm.
want to lose your vision, I mean your limbs. So what is the best course? Well, if the doctor has already checked your hemoglobin A1C, and it's, let's say it's over 8, you know, I mean, it shouldn't be over 6, okay?
Yeah.
But black folks,
Yeah.
we tend to have it 7. But
Yeah.
if it's 7 and above, then they're going to monitor you, hopefully, and you're going to go on metformin. And in 3 months, you're going to come back. Your hemoglobin A1C should be measured 3 months later, even once you're on metformin, to see where it is. Now, I've had folks begin to use different natural herbs, turmeric, curcumin, eating lots of fruits and vegetables, not sweet fruit, but fruits, and take tart cherry, different things that naturally can correct it. But we get so comfortable by saying, well, I got diabetes, I got sugar, and that's lifetime. It's not. You can reverse type 2, but you just got to do it. You can exercise, and your pancreas will wake up. I get many of my naturopathic friends, of course, we'll have one or two on the show, that can tell you how you can detox the liver, detox your pancreas, and wake it up, and really wake it up. But I will say this, please, if I always say it, watch those over the counter medicines, because they can destroy lots of things, including your kidneys. I'm talking not just ibuprofen, and I'm not talking, the naproxen, the anaprax. So when you have pain, try to do the old fashioned, the heating pad, the Epsom salt, the icy ice, and even some creams, any of the creams that are good for pain, before you start popping those pills. And definitely not the oxycodone and the narcotics, because that's going to not only give you diabetes, but it's not so much give you diabetes, that'll give you an addiction and kill you.
Absolutely. So I'm glad you answered one of my questions that I was going to ask you. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. This is Bill Foster's Real Talk with Dr. Marilyn Corder. Please, if you like it, subscribe to it via YouTube. I don't care how you watch it, but just just give us some love, and so we can build a page. Okay, I'm a diabetic. I'm on Geminet, right? Right,
Right.
Malika? Right. So then he was telling me that was for my kidneys, right? Or
Yes.
something like that. So
Yes.
okay,
I'm,
and then
I'm gonna
he
go.
was go
I'm
ahead,
gonna go
please.
inside. It's getting dark. So it.
Don't have none of them wild animals mess with you out there.
I know. I'm hearing things in the woods. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Well, as the doctor goes inside, everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. That's Dr. Marilyn Corder, as she gets situated to go inside and chop it up some more with us. Doc, whenever you're ready, go ahead.
I think I'm ready. Hopefully, you can still hear me.
We
Okay.
still got you. We got
Um.
you. We got you.
So if you think of a car, and I'm not a mechanic, but
Hmm.
things like your engine and your carburetor and all that, your kidneys are also very important. Um. And when you have diabetes, it causes, if you think of a toxin going around your body, the sugar, the glucose, it aggravates and plugs up certain things, including your kidney. So
Hmm.
what the doctors want to do is to make sure your kidney function, we call it renal function, same thing, kidney function, is adequate. Now, some people don't even realize what's happening to their kidneys until it's 50%.
Yeah.
Then some people say, well, what is 50%? Now, follow this. People give their kidneys away, right? People will say, here, I'm going to donate my kidney. So you have two. Hopefully, when you're born, you have two functioning kidneys. So you give one away. But who's to say that other one, the last one, the sole surviving kidney, won't have problems down the road?
Right.
And
Right.
often, if you're 50% of that kidney, which will be a fourth of your total kidney um, function, that's when you see swelling. That's when you see difficulty in urination. I'm apologize. My dog is about to start barking. He thinks I'm talking to him, but that's when I was outside. Um,
Mhm.
but what we want to do is to make sure you know your kidney function. We say know your hemoglobin A1C, but make sure your doctor is doing your kidney function as well,
Yes.
checking your kidney function. And again, I emphasize it. Any medication you take, make sure when you read it that it doesn't say can aggravate your kidneys because you don't need that. Drink your water, okay? Get your lemon water, etc. But and keep your blood pressure as comfortable as within guidelines as possible. I told you guys, you're gonna
Yes.
bark.
And you know, so I'm glad you said that because see, let me just tell everybody out there, real talk. I can't have you divulge anything if I can't divulge anything. So that's the one thing that, and also too, he put me on a little, and when I talk to the doctor about my primary, I still talk to my cousin about. So don't y'all ever get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? I got a tongue lashing years ago when I had spine surgery, and I'll never do that again. So the bottom line is also then he put me on a little bit of high blood pressure measure, in lieu of I think the Geminet, right? So I just went to the doctor. Like I said, my numbers are good. I'm like 6 point something, and my PSAs and stuff like that. Um, uh, so I was glad I got a good report. You know, the glaucoma in the eyes, and it's so funny, Doc, how so many things can happen after diabetes. Once diabetes sets in, it can be a big thing. We all understand health is cardio, exercise is very important. You have some questions, so I just want to keep it going with these so you can see these. Terrence has a question. Yeah, Biff, I'm gonna reach out to you. We got to chop it up, brother. So, can you see that question, Doc?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say yes, yes, and yes. So foods that are hard to digest, such as processed foods that are not natural foods, will tend to cause problems. Um, the red dye, the different foods that can aggravate your system, and it can cause cancer. We're seeing, you know, so many unnatural things. If we could just go back and pull the natural things that we did years ago, we wouldn't see the cancer rate that we're seeing. Even down to, Bill, I'm gonna get basic, not just what we eat. And certainly we need to stop the processed food. We need to cook. That's something hard for me to digest because my children would tell you, my husband was to cook, but I'm cooking, okay?
Exactly.
And
Absolutely. Absolutely.
we need to eat natural things and get a taste for it. And when you're hungry, I vowed for Lent to not buy fast food. So I'm getting, I got lunch bags. I'm going to work with my orange, my boiled egg, my salad, my black
Mm-hmm.
beans in a container, and it's a good thing. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling more alert versus going
Mm-hmm.
somewhere and getting some junk. And the more junk you eat, the more junk you're going to crave. So yes, Terrence, we're seeing an increase in cancer rates. We're seeing, and we know that if we continue to eat those foods that our bodies are not natural, that our bodies tend not to be able to break down, then it sits around and it causes havoc. And you'll talk about free radicals. We talked about that about two decades ago. But free radicals are real and inflammation is real. And they'll tell you, people will say, well, we all have some cancer cells in our bodies. Well, we kind of do. And this goes all the way back. We have cancer cells, but our good cells should be cleaning that up. It's almost like the probiotics and the and the regular prebiotics. So we have to have our bodies built back to get rid of it, to clean house, to get rid of it. And the natural things you know, they now telling us, and I've been preaching this to my teenagers, the hair, the fake hair, the you know,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
hair in the
Uh-huh.
bag, the hair in the bag
Yeah,
causes
yeah.
has been associated with causing cancer because it's right next to your brain. It's right next to your body, and it's your scalp. The aluminum in a deodorant, get aluminum free deodorant because we know our breath starts in our armpits. So you're putting poison in your armpits, and certainly right after people have shaved, they're putting that deodorant there, caking it there. It's going in your bloodstream, and it's
Yes.
causing cancer. The tissue right there from your armpit is it's your breast. So we're seeing a
Mhm.
lot of that. We talk about our our other look our sisters from way back
Yes.
don't use deodorant. Well, you know what? Oop, I hope you can you still hear me?
Yeah, we still got you. We
Okay,
still
okay,
got you.
okay.
Yeah, we got you,
Well,
Patriot.
so, sometimes that smell is saving their lives. So don't knock it. You can put some baking soda there. You put some say look, you can
I
put
remember
some
exactly. You want yo, listen. I don't know anybody's financial situations, but you didn't have to be rich for your parents to say, yo, listen, you can put some baking soda up under
right.
your armpits.
That's right.
You know,
That's right. So you
I
can
don't,
get
yeah.
you don't have to have the antiperspirant, just get your deodorant. And they have some, and they even have the crystal that cuts down on the odor there. So not only, Terrence, what you're eating, yes, yes. And what you putting in your body and exposing your body, yes, yes. When I was growing up, the only thing that we talked about was cigarette smoking causes cancer.
Yeah.
Well, life itself, if you turn to left, turn to the right, or what you exposed to and what you're being served, the kids' lunches and like I said, just the different things that some places outside the United States ban the foods that we eat.
Yes.
If you,
Yeah.
I mean, I know in the Philippines and Switzerland, different places, some of the foods that a child might eat, two or three of them per day, are carcinogenic and banned in other not so rich lands like we call ourselves,
Yes.
but it's
Absolutely.
it's banned.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I got another question.
Okay.
Our lovely friend Stefania is in the building. Our Real Talk
Hey.
family member. She has a question for you. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, from what I understand, diabetes type is reversible. Yes. Why don't doctors preach lifestyle changes over medication? Well, they don't believe it.
Mm,
And people, unfortunately, I'll speak for the internists and the family practice doctors that I know. They know it's reversible, but they also know that their patients often are not going to go through and change, and it's more difficult. In my field of business, pediatrics, when I tell a mother or father or grandmother to do something for that baby, they do it immediately. That's why I
mm,
like my field. But it is reversible. And why don't doctors preach lifestyle? I know one or two that do. Um,
right,
and they'll tell you, look, and it should be in your face, one doctor in particular, saying, you want to die, you know,
right,
and make sure you do this and that will prevent. So I fault the doctors for not preaching it.
mhm.
Um, and having them come back a month later and looking and going over. I tell folks, email me what you're eating so we can tailor it and say this is good, this is not good. Just to say to someone eat fruits and vegetables, you may as well have told them to go to McDonald's every day because they're not going to do that. But if
Yeah,
you tailor it and go through what they're eating and then say, instead of this, do this, instead of that, do that. And so you'll see, and the times that they're eating. So, yeah, doctors don't tell you all the time it's reversible. Type 2 diabetes is reversible. And
she, ha-
probably 10 to 15 pounds can make a difference.
she has another question for you.
I never knew that diabetes could. Yes. Oh my God. You know what? That is so true.
Mhm.
Um, Diabetes is the number one cause of stroke and heart attacks. Let me emphasize diabetes, 2 to 1, will give you a heart attack more than high blood pressure. Okay.
Mm,
So people, when people say they had a heart attack, I mean, they had a stroke, people say, oh, what was their blood pressure? It may not have been high.
right,
It may
right.
not have been high. So, yes. And that's something that we now tell the parents, tell the patients about what diabetes. We used to think it's just a little sugar. Aunt May got sugar, but Aunt May is about to have a stroke if her sugar is not controlled, and that's what we need to be saying.
Absolutely. I have another question. Brother Earl's in the building.
Yes. Oh, who is that? Earl.
Yeah, it's my man Earl.
You know what? Please, please, berberine, chromium, turmeric. But chromium picolinate, write this down. Chromium picolinate, you can get it from CVS, really helps your pancreas, really helps reverse diabetes. And cinnamon,
Say it again, cuz. What is it?
chromium picolinate. If you
Chromium.
pull up chromium, it's right there. Chromium picolinate.
Okay.
And cinnamon. Put your cinnamon instead of sugar. Put cinnamon in your coffee.
Okay.
RALA. So berberine is my son takes this all four of those, and because his hemoglobin A1C was high, and they put him on metformin, and he said, "Well, I'm just going to get my naturopathic uh, recipe together." But nobody talks. You don't see the doctors writing a prescription for these things. They should write it down on a piece of paper on a script. You can go to vitamin shop. You can go anywhere. You can go online. Berberine, chromium picolinate, cinnamon, and they work. And some people say, "Oh, they don't work." Yes, they do. Just because your doctor didn't tell you, that does not mean it doesn't work.
Awesome. What's up, Vera, with the wonderful last name? Shout out to cousin Kendra in the building. My man,
Hey,
what's up,
Kendra.
Kenyatta? How are you, brother? Kenyatta also says cardio is very important. Um, he also says, I'll put this up in the group.
Yeah, on dollars. Yes, all the foods, the processed foods that they ate when they were 2, 3, 4 years old is coming back. It's coming back, Kenyatta, and they on dialysis, and some of them are dying, 40s and
Yeah.
50s, younger and younger.
He also says too.
Yes, cancer loves sugar. It's like
Mm,
cancer loves sugar.
mm,
And I'm gonna tell you, mushroom coffee is the bomb. I think I talked to you guys about that earlier.
yes.
Mushroom coffee is a different taste, but mushroom coffee is good for you and for your gut. But yeah, I'm chromium picolinate, and berberine.
Yeah, Malika had me over here drinking mushroom coffee, and I don't even like coffee. Period.
Right.
Terrence also has another question or
Eat
statement.
healthy, work out. But my LDL has always been high, so that's genetic, Terrence. And yeah, as a matter of fact, and the thought is that it's genetic. Genetic. I finally agreed to take a statin. Um, Not for long. I mean, I say that, but do everything you can, and hopefully your HDL will get higher and higher, and you won't have the risk. My husband has genetic um LDL, high LDLs. And for a while I could eat anything and was eating everything, and he was eating so well, and he's like, "That's not fair." His LDL was high, but he's reversed it. He's exercising, he watches what he eats, and he likes to eat sweets. He bakes and cooks, but we know
Mhm.
he reversed that. So his LDL is coming down. It is genetic, because when you saying you eat healthy and work out, and that, but you can still overcome that by taking, you can do the statin, that's fine, but be careful with what the statins do to your muscles, and monitor that. But you can also bring your LDL down with naturopathic things. And there's a lot. There's a list of them. That's a whole nother conversation in terms of cutting your cholesterol. But
Mhm.
continue the eating healthy and the working out, and just monitor that. There are um, NAC and there's a few of the amino acids that can also. So Google the amino acids that brings down your LDL, and continue doing what you're doing.
And Doc, for the people that don't know, can you tell people what LDL means?
Low density lipids. I mean, I call it the low down
Yeah, yeah.
lipids. Okay, versus, so some people say, "Well, what's supposed to be high? Which one's supposed to be low?" Well, the HDL, I always tell that, if you're thinking about high, is a good one. It's a breakdown of your cholesterol. There was a time we just said you can't have a high cholesterol. If it's 200 and whatever, that's bad. It's not so much the total number, it's what makes up that number. So this is called your lipid profile that you are um, experiencing. And LDL should not be high. And if it's high beyond the point, they'll tell you, some people say, well, it's black people have this amount of LDL versus, you don't want it over 99. And you also want to do your triglycerides. Triglycerides check that level as well, Terrence, because that will add to atherosclerosis, just like having a high LDL. And the triglycerides is a marker of grease in your veins in your diet. So if you think about some water that has grease in it, the triglycerides is your blood that will show fat. And if it's high, then you have to really change your diet, and watch what you're eating and drink your water and do your lemon water, your apple cider vinegar, and a lot of the natural things. And if you do it consistently, I saw a friend of mine who lost 100 pounds consistently, not on the Ozempic, not on that mess, but consistently. And you just got to love yourself. I was listening to, I don't know if it was D.L. Hughley earlier. You have to love yourself. Love yourself more, or to say love your person, love people like you love yourself. Some people don't love themselves.
Right,
All right.
right. Yeah. Yeah,
And if
and
ever there's a time, we got to start loving on ourselves and understanding what our bodies need. And
yeah.
give yourself a big hug and begin to do things that your body needs. And those cravings, a lot of times we crave things because we're depleted. So we're craving
Okay.
sweets because we're depleted.
Okay.
Um, Years ago, when women had low iron, well, women still have low iron, but they used to crave clay, and they used to crave. Now they crave an ice.
Hmm.
When you have someone that's sitting there and they
Crunching on
eating on
ice.
ice, big bowl. They just want a cup of ice. Then you need to look at them. That's called pica, Pica, and you want to look at them and say you need to get your levels checked to see if you're anemic. And they
Yeah,
get some of them. Sometimes they may be more cold in a room that is not really a cold room. But
yeah.
your body has ways that it's reaching out, or begging you to do something, or telling you, giving you symptoms of what's going on.
Mm.
Um, and so when you're anemic, as well as when your cholesterol is high, let's say your LDL or your blood pressure, et cetera, some people are fortunate to have a headache or feel funny or have chest pain. Now, some people don't, and they just die. They have a
Mm.
massive heart attack or massive stroke and they just die. But pay attention to your body. Get your body right. Balance it out. Do like we get our oil checks in the car. We get, different service. They say every so often get this service. And now we're talking about some doctors just dropping the mic because of this craziness. Some insurances. Get everything you can from your insurance now. Medicare, Medicaid, get a list. Go through a list. Share my number, but go through a list of things that you need to make sure that they check.
Yeah, I'll put your email in because these Negroes.
Okay.
My brothers and sisters, they'll be calling and texting, talking to you all the time. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all, but y'all ain't gonna stress my cousin out. But that's the beautiful thing that I always when I asked her to be a part of this, because we used to feed off each other when she had political shows, when she used to do
Right.
her shows.
For 20 years I had my show.
Yeah,
I gave it up, but I almost
yeah,
wish I was still on it because
yeah.
they
I wish
probably
you
would have
were back too,
handcuffed me.
because you definitely,
They
you
would have
definitely
come and
was.
handcuffed me by now.
I had to come and buffer that. I had to come and protect you. But the doctor, my family is very conscious, and like I said, she keeps it real. Her credentials are incredible. You can Google her if you want. If not, Stefania and other people can contest that the doctor has answered her emails in lieu of sidebar and conversing with them outside the bar.
Right.
Earl said, yeah, he said he was up. He's been meaning to watch you. Dwayne Davis, Biff, my brother Biff, he said, thank you, Dr. Corder. Earl also said, he said there's aluminum free deodorants.
Yes. Yeah, it is. Tom's. There's about 4 or 5 brands. Just Google them, and they're aluminum free. And with our young girls, unfortunately, we have some of our girls starting to wear deodorant at 5 and 6 years old. And
Mm.
of course they'll tell you the preteen or the Dove, etc. Get the aluminum free. Anybody who, if you got a daughter, a granddaughter, a loved one, of a partner, tell them, buy them aluminum free deodorant. Now sometimes they might say, oh, it don't do right because it doesn't stop me from sweating. Sweating is good. Detoxifying, that's good. If your armpit sweats a little bit, that's fine. Stop shaving so much, because what that's doing is also aggravating um the cells, aggravating the pores, and allowing any and everything to go within your system and your body.
So you don't mind people going a little junglist,
Mustard. Right, jungle.
a little
You know,
junglist.
right. But just and you could clip what you could do instead of shaving, you could, have somebody help you just clip it so it's not, hanging out, but at the same time, it's safer. And
Absolutely.
we gotta go back to when we lived of 110 years old,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know,
you telling
when
like that?
we didn't have the processed foods.
Exactly. Our cousin says hello. She sends her love.
Hey, Kendra.
Yeah, yeah. Kenya says population control. I forgot that might have
Hmm.
been something we discussed. I apologize, my brother. My brother
Hmm.
Malcolm is in the building. He said, "Hey, brother."
Hi. Hello. She was told, oh, yes. Well, you know what? No, she wasn't. 5.8. You know what? They need to stop.
Yeah,
Okay. So, look, you know what? There's some okay. There's some standards that will say anything above 5.7.
yeah,
Well, that's a 5-year-old. Above 5.7 is pre-diabetic. Okay. So if they say that to her, it's really 6.2, 6.3 when we saying, and they might just be trying to make sure she never gets up into sixes. But you got some pre-diabetics who wish their level was 5.8, 5.9, 6.
absolutely. Yeah,
So
yeah,
maybe this is an overzealous doctor who want to make sure that um, it never goes up to 6. She's not pre-diabetic. No, no. But and the standards for blacks are a little different than whites. I don't want anybody to misinterpret that. In other words, and I've spoken to several of my endocrinologist friends,
hmm,
and I've sent, I was on that trip with, oh my God, it's 5.9 and 6.0 and their kids. Well, once I sent them to my colleagues, endocrinologists, they said, well, with us, it's 6.0, 6.1, but we don't want it to creep up. And what she should do is make sure it doesn't go above 6. So 5.8, 5.9, but she's not pre-diabetic. The
yeah,
standards would say 5.7 and above is pre-diabetic. But honestly speaking, no. But we want to make sure that she does what she needs to do. And like I said, turmeric, curcumin, mushroom coffee. Just start every day taking something that's not good out of your diet and giving something that is good out of your diet and,
It's
into
so
your diet.
funny. I went to see. I always had to go get tested for my 9/11
Yes,
first
yes.
responder. So
Exposure,
I
right?
had a doctor there. So she's sitting there. She's talking to me. So she says to me, "Yo," she says, "Yo, how's your midsection?" So I said, "What? What do you mean, how's my midsection?" So I look down. I'm like, I can see it. I'm good. Like, what's what? So she says, "Well, your BMI, whatever, is a little high." So I said, "What do you mean it's a little high, doc?" She said, "Oh, it's a 28." So I said, "It's a 28." So I said, "What's the normal?" She said, 25. I said, "Yo, get out of my face." Really? I
I
said,
know.
"Yo,
You'll
listen."
miss that. Now, you don't
Yeah.
look like you're walking around with about to deliver a baby. That miss say, but some like I said,
I heard 30 is the worry point, right?
right, right,
But
right,
I
right.
told her, I said, don't compare me to the O'Malley's and the Rabinowitz. She was like, yes, I know the Tesla studies. I said, yo, I'm 6 feet, I'm 210.
Right.
I said, yo, I'm feeling good. Like I said, yo, you lost. If I wanted a second primary, you're not her. You know what I'm saying? So, Kenyatta says this. He says, yo, money talks with all the pick. Yeah. Wow.
But so what you want to do is be your own. How should I want you to think about. Of course, you don't have. I can't say have your own medical degree. I get that, but sometimes you know more than your doctor, and
Yeah.
sometimes you can understand some things, naturopathic things, more than your doctor because they don't teach us. I know because I'm a naturopathic physician as well. Because I
Mhm.
learn, I study, I understand the books that we read years ago, and still updating. It's not all natural. It's pharmaceutically driven. And we know that. And our system is sick driven versus let's prevent and preventive. And that's why I like doing pediatrics because I got brand new organs, liver, kidney, lungs. And I can then, as I'm teaching the parents the do's and don'ts for the child, I'm reaching them too and the grandparents. And I love doing that because I can hit 2 generations in one swap, in one visit.
Yes.
So
Yes.
and they're like, my doctor never said that, and I just looked at them. I said, I
Mm.
know. That's why I'm here. That's why you chose me to
That's
take
right.
care of your child and your
Exactly.
grandchild. Hello.
Earl I guess he put this message in for Terrence. I guess he was sharing some love with Terrence.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. All right. All right. You know, it's interesting. Um, we need to have a talk on cardiovascular uh just attacks and not just see we get hooked on LDL or triglycerides. We need to talk about other blood studies that also show us when we're in crisis or soon to be in crisis in our health.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it doesn't, you don't have to be so sophisticated to understand, so we need to have something that, we just finished Heart Month, February, but anytime we'll talk about it and break it down because your listeners, I mean, your folks they're on it.
They own it,
There
right?
are a number of studies that suggest LDL in it and of itself is not a precursor to heart attack. That's true.
Yeah.
It's those triglycerides that get us and the particles. That's why I can't even read. ApoB
APOC.
test is right. It's a good test. And see, that's what Adrian, your my child,
Yeah,
has always.
my cousin. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
she does those because she does the fitness, etc. And she'll do those tests. But guess what? Your insurance don't pay for that. Hello. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's something called an MRT. I tell you what, listeners, write this down. MRT. And that's a mediated response test. And I know I have 2 seconds. A mediated
Mm-hmm.
response test. I want to talk about that on a whole nother time because the
It's your
mediated
show.
response test, you do it one time in life. It tells you all the things that's going on over
Mm-hmm.
200 different foods that you can or cannot eat. It's not based on your blood type. It's not based on, your genetics. You can have a set of twins and those twins, one can eat this versus that. I did my test, and this is called elite medicine. So your insurance don't pay for it. It's quite expensive. I do it for the region. I got it a third of what it costs, but it costs. It's up there $600, $700. But I'm like, okay, don't buy your grandchild or yourself that tennis shoe or that iPhone. Get this done. Test one. I've had families do it for the Mother's Day or Christmas. I had one mother. I can talk and talk, but they're foods that I can't eat anymore, which I was eating Brussels sprouts. Can you imagine? Some foods that you think, what? But it's my husband and I, he had ours done. Some foods he can't eat anymore. Some foods I can't eat. And we have to make sure, even down to ingredients, condiments. Okay. So once we started that, like my son, that was what he got for his Christmas gift, that blood draw. And you send it immediately to the lab and it breaks it down. You get a whole book of things like you can and cannot eat. And it's the red zone, which is bad, the green zone, the yellow zone and the green zone. And I'm gonna share that information with you, William, Bill, and Malika,
Yeah.
because
Oh
it
yeah,
is
please.
like
Because once you tell that cousin Malika, she'll be talking about. Yeah.
MRT. And once you get it done, you don't and it's never gonna change. It's your own personal blueprint of your body. And
Got
we've
you.
had
Got you.
folks go from bad diabetes, bad cardiovascular. I have a mother, a grandmother of my practice, and she was like, she's about 5 years younger, and she came in one day dragging. I said, "Well, how you doing?" Because I always tease. I call her home because we're from the same neighborhood in DC. And she said, "Girl, I got this," and she showed me all this medicine. I looked at her. I said, "Robin," I said, tell you what, trust me on this. I know I'm the pediatrician, but I know what I'm talking about. I
Mm-hmm.
invited her to get an MRT. She got an MRT. She had a 6-week appointment because she had just been to the doctors. You know how that can be depressing. She went to the doctor 6 weeks later. The doctor drew her blood, did it. She said, "Oh my goodness." She said, "You've done a total transformation." That's a year ago. She lost about 30 or 40 pounds, maybe about
Wow.
40 pounds, but she's anti-aged. And she, now and then she'll say, "I'm going to go off." And she said, I forget, everybody has their own foods that they know they can't eat. And
Yes.
but it's a
Absolutely.
ton of foods you can eat and eat more and more and more of it, be it
Right.
a
Right. Right.
fruit. So I will go over this one day. We'll do a show on MRT because one of the things we need to do is understand we have to take our health into our own hands
Yes. Absolutely.
if ever
Absolutely.
there's a time.
Yeah.
So I am going to sign off
I
unless
just want,
it's
I know it's about to get out of here. Everybody, that's Real Talk Chronicles. That's Dr. Marilyn Corder. This is Real Talk Dr. Corder. Send some hearts in. Let her know you appreciate it. Please share the post. There's so many different comments. I just want to read some things real quick before you go. I don't want you to answer. I just want you to listen to them.
okay.
Soon.
You are what you eat. You are what you eat.
Absolutely. Also, Earl had put this in there.
Yes, it does. Who is this? Earl, you're on it.
Yeah, he's
You're
on
on
it.
it.
He's a
And
Republican,
and
but he's
guess
on
what?
it.
I've had folks. I tell them buy berberine, get it. But sometimes the vitamin shop has a 2 for 1 or whatever. One buy one get one free or half price. People say, well, my insurance paid for metformin is free. Huh? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Terrence puts this in.
We got to be careful with the fake sugars, though. Give yourself a little honey, or no sugar at all. Wean out.
Yeah. Earl and I talk extensively about health stuff. He's definitely he is on it.
Yeah, intermittent fasting works. You got to be consistent. Yeah, Earl, you on it.
Yeah. Don't talk to him about politics though. He ain't on that. Let me stop. No, he sorry, Earl.
Okay.
He a Republican.
I won't judge you, Earl. You good with me.
Yeah. very exactly.
That's right. Love yourself. Don't cut the light out when you go in the mirror.
Yeah. Don't want to turn to the side and look like Alfred Hitchcock.
Right.
Exactly. Tonight's episode. Yeah, exactly. Sister Rochelle's in the building.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes, apple cider vinegar. All right now.
Yeah.
Little
Brother
lemon,
Mark,
little apple cider vinegar.
Brother Mark has a question. That's your chef on the grill.
I know they. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It depends. Some people say down to 2, but you can have the small snacks and you can have like your nuts, your grains. I love my black beans lately. I have that for lunch and a little salad. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Let me find anybody else. Let me see real quick. Shout out to Enid, my sister. She's doing a lot of positive stuff for domestic violence and stuff. Enid, we got to bring you back. We got let's talk offline and see if you're still able to converse about things. I know you got offices and political situations you may not be able to converse about.
She did. I have a friend named Enid. She did. She's right. We unfortunately we're prescription driven health system. We need not to be a prescription driven health system. Exactly. I'd rather not give. I'll have you come back 2 or 3 times and say, look, you only have to pay the copay. Let's get this done.
Yeah, Mark had a little joke. You missed some shows when we talked about politics on Wednesdays, so that's why Mark said that about Earl.
That's right. He should.
yeah, exactly.
In a good way, yes.
Let's see.
Without having the worm in your head.
Thank you. What's up? What's up, 06? I see you in the building. Kenyatta says this will be the last one.
You guys should link up with my kid. All right.
Hey, Kenyatta, send her to us, and we'll bring her on with the doctor one day. You know what I'm saying? So link us in.
This is the time. This is the time to collaborate.
Yeah, show the podcast, and then if she wants to link in, and with the doc's permission, we will bring her in, and we can all converse about stuff. Everybody, that's Dr. Marilyn Corder. Oh wait, hold on. It says. Okay, you can come back. Okay, good. We can talk about in it. Doc, if you ever do your stuff, she talks a lot about domestic violence and stuff that. So if you ever go back and do things like that, that's
it's increasing. Mental health, people are stressing. People are suicidal. And they taking not just themselves, they taking their loved ones out.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody, Doc, first and foremost, I love you, cuz. Appreciate you so much. Tell hubby tell cousin hubby tell the little ones I said hello. We'll talk definitely also. Everybody, please put some hearts in for the doctor. Let her know that you appreciate what she did, because she doesn't have to take the time out. She's doing it for love. She does it for a village, and then she also does it for a cuz. I don't know which one comes first, but the bottom line is she's here.
You're part of my village, cuz. You're part of my village.
The bottom line is she's here. And please, like I said, please put some hearts up in the comments. If you like what you heard tonight, subscribe to it. Share it on Facebook. Let somebody know. It is what it is. Listen, positive affirmation.
Go get your berberine. Go get your coumadin. Go get your turmeric. Go get your water. Get your apple cider vinegar. Let's make a difference.
Absolutely. Doc, love you. I'll talk to you real quick. You know what I'm saying? All right.
Okay.
See you later. Get
Take
home.
care.
I'll talk to you later. Everybody, that's Dr. Marilyn Corder. I am Bill Forster. It's Real Talk. This is what we do. You know what I'm saying? I try to give you, everybody knows I'm great at partying, but this is another side. What's up, Kurt? I see you, brother, in the middle. Hey, Lisa, Shane. So please, I just ask you to go to YouTube and just subscribe to Real Talk Chronicles, build up that content. Facebook, just click on how you're watching it right now and just share it to your page. So your followers, your friends can see exactly what your boy, your friend who I am, is doing and giving back to our people of all ethnicities, because the bottom line is health is so important. We all have our own ideologies on how we do things and how we're going to do them. But the bottom line is, you tell me, please, and I ask any of you, tell me what podcaster has a world-renowned doctor come on and give you free information for an hour. I don't know of anyone. So you're only getting that at Real Talk Chronicles. We'll do that thing with what she said about the MRI stuff or MRT. And if you want to, Google her, Dr. Marilyn Corder. Bang. You know what I'm saying? And then tell me what's up. You can Google her and her husband and her kids. I got powerful people in my family, and I'm blessed that they would even spend the time to give it back to their community. So there's a consciousness, and I share it. So I ask you all, with all humility, to share it to your page. Like I said, the way you're watching it, just look at that share button and share it to your page so other people can see what's going on in the Real Talk Chronicles. I appreciate you all. It's that time. Wednesday, I'm going to try to be here. It's the birthday celebration of a departed brother, Blake Wallace. So we're supposed to be getting together doing a memorial. So if I'm not here, it's only because of that. I'll let you know in advance. With that being said, rest in peace to Soki Murphy, Nakeem Murphy, and also fellow co-worker Clinton Blake. We called him Junior. Very young people. Health is so important. Tomorrow's not promised, y'all. Mark, we'll do the aftermath. Kurt, we'll talk to you in a minute. Everybody, I appreciate Terrence. We'll definitely chop it up later. Hey, Joyce 06. Cheryl, it's good to see you. Alvin Harvin, I see you, brother, in the building. Jay Brody, I see you. Everybody, like I said, I just ask you, go back and watch the podcast. I love to get the views and see it later on how good we did and what we did. Enid, we definitely will be talking. So it's Women's Month. Shout out to all you beautiful sisters that have been watching. Happy Women's Month to you. I know it's 12 months for me with you, but they acknowledge you in March. So gotta keep it going. And I'll talk to you later. I got stuff to do. Peace. Foster the moment with positive vibes only. That's what it is.